Okay, here we have a question that comes from page B5, unit 1213. I got asked a few people asked me how to do this, so I'll just record it. So here we are given two angles. We have angle X, which is in quadrant 1. So that is indicated here. Angle X is in quadrant 1. It's between 0 and pi over 2. Angle Y is in quadrant 4, which is indicated here. Y is between 3 pi over 2 and 2 pi. And we are asked to find cosine x plus y. So the first thing that we're going to do is locate the angles and find all the sides of that triangle. So it says angle X is in quadrant 1. So I'm going to draw a triangle in quadrant 1. That's angle X. I'll label that. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. And so we would use Pythagorean theorem to find the missing angle, or the missing side, I should say. So we are given one side and the hypotenuse, and we will need to find the missing side, and it will work out to be 3. Okay, so B is 3. And then I'm going to locate angle Y. It says sine Y is negative 12 over 13, and it says it's in quadrant 4. So I'm going to draw that triangle in quadrant 4 and label that angle Y, and I have the opposite side and the hypotenuse. And again, we're going to use Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side. And so B will work out to be 5. So we'll put that. So we have our two completed diagrams. We have angle X in quadrant 1. We have angle Y in quadrant 4. It asks us to find cosine X plus Y. So we are going to write out the formula, the compound angle formula for cos X plus Y, which is cos X cos Y minus sine X sine Y. And then we're going to find these values from the diagrams that we just drew. So cosine X, I'm going to go to the diagram of angle X, and I'm going to find the value of cosine, which is 3 over 5. And then it wants cosine Y, so I'm going to go to the Y diagram and find the value of cosine, which is 5 over 13. And then it wants sine X, so I'm going back to the X diagram and looking for sine, which is 4 over 5. And then sine of Y, so go back to the Y diagram, I'm looking for sine, which is negative 12 over 13. So I find those values from the diagrams that I just completed, and then I just have to simplify my answer. So we'll multiply the first two together. And in the second two, we have a negative times a negative, so that's a positive. And we have 48 over 15, and then we'll add those together. Sorry, 65. And they already have a common denominator, so we can just go ahead and add and get 63 over 65. Okay, so let's do one more. This one says sine X is 4 over 5, and X is in it's the same diagrams, but we're finding something different. So this time we're looking for a cosecant of X minus Y. So it's actually the same angles. So angle X is in quadrant 1. The sine ratio is 4 over 5. We know that the missing side is 3. We just determined that. And we know angle Y is in quadrant 4, right, between 3 pi over 2 and 2 pi. It gave us 2 sides, and then we calculated the third side. Okay, so same diagrams, but different question. So it wants us to find cosecant X minus Y. So remember that cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So instead of writing cosecant, I could do 1 over sine. Okay, and I have a formula for sine X minus Y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find sine X minus Y and then substitute it in, rather than continually writing 1 divided by 1 divided by 1 divided by, which is uses up too much room. So I'm just going to do the sine first, and then I'll substitute it into this. So sine x minus y is sine x cos y, looking at my sheet, and minus cos x sine y. So like we did with the previous question, we're going to find these values from our diagram. So sine of angle x is 4 over 5. Cosine of angle y is 5 over 13. Cosine of angle x is 3 over 5. Sine of angle y is negative 12 over 13. And then we will just simplify. 2 negatives make a positive. 3 12s are 36. And then we'll add that together. But remember that this was sine. So we'll substitute this in here. And then 1 divided by that would be just the reciprocal. Make sure I put these in here correctly. I just feel like the answer is different, but maybe it's not. All right, so sine is 4 over 5. Cosine y is 5 over 13. Cosine x is 3 over 5, and sine y is negative. Okay, so all looks correct. Okay, so if you get a reciprocal, just do the regular. So if you had secant, you would just do 1 over cosine. So do the cosine and then sub it in, and you'll end up with the reciprocal.